send something. How to get your message sent out and easily received by your audience. Gimana caranya supaya pesan kamu tuh tersampaikan dengan mudah? Okay. Now, outlining helps. Jadi kita buat outline dulu. Outline itu kerangkanya ya kalau di bahasa Indonesia. We make an outline. What are we going to say? How are we going to say it? Which should go first? Which goes second, etc., etc. Gitu. Okay. So this part is about you as a writer, ya. Jadi kamu sebagai penulisnya. So this is about writing in English. The writers wants to include in the text. Okay, this is an outline. So what are you going to say? What is the topic and subtopics? Kamu menulis apa? Topik utamanya apa? Terus apa yang mau kamu bahas sebagai subtopiknya? Ya, jadi kebalikannya dari Unit 7. Kalau di Unit 7 kan kamu ada teks, kamu cari topiknya apa, subtopiknya apa. Ya. Nah, sekarang kamu create topik dan subtopik kamu, terus kamu rangkai menjadi sebuah paragraf yang utuh. Gitu. Ya. Now, the outline also show how the information will be divided according to the level of generality, time, place, causal relationship, and so on. Causal relationship and so on. Generality, misalkan you start talking something in general first. Yeah. For example, you talk about Indonesia. Yeah, in general, Indonesia has has about 17,000 islands, very diverse, very multicultural, etc., etc. In general. And then you want to talk more specifically of a specific tradition in Indonesia. Yeah, for example, in a specific place gitu ya, misalkan di mana ya, suku Tengger ya, the Tengger tribe in Bromo Mountain, they have this specific tradition. Every year they would celebrate blah 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 blah, how they celebrate it gitu loh. Jadi general dulu, umum dulu tentang beragam tentang Indonesia dan kekayaan budaya Indonesia secara umum. Terus kemudian the next paragraph you talk more specifically about this one tradition gitu. Ya, bisa juga seperti itu. Bisa juga kamu menceritakannya berdasarkan time. Jadi chronological. Jadi kamu menceritakan sesuatu berdasarkan urutan waktu. Okay, you can tell about the development of public transport in Jakarta, for example. Yeah, nowadays Jakarta has a very it's not ideal yet, but I think it's very good compared to other city in Indonesia. Yeah, Jakarta has Transjakarta, has KRL, what else? LRT and also MRT, yeah, and Jaklingko for the residents of Jakarta. That's very good and very very cheap, very cheap too, yeah. And then you can talk about the development secara kronologisnya seperti apa. For example, it started in perhaps I think it's in the 90s or in early 2000s, yeah. From the first corridor of Transjakarta, for example, gitu ya. Awalnya dari situ, terus ternyata Transjakarta penggunanya banyak gitu ya. Itu kemudian, and then it grows into how many corridors now? I don't know. There are so many, yeah. And then you can tell also about the the train, ya, the KRL, how it is improved over the years, and then of the MRT, etc., etc. You can use timeline to tell how things are changing or how things are growing or decaying, yeah, according to time. You can also talk about a place, yeah. You can also talk about the place, or causal relationship. Causal relationship itu hubungan sebab akibat, ya. Because of this, that happen, gitu. Jadi hubungan sebab akibat. Okay, and many others, yeah, and other ways to structure or to outline. Now, what happened most of the time with students, they have so many ideas on their mind. So they want to say everything instantly. Semuanya itu banyak di kepalamu. Terus kamu mau sampaikan semua. Akhirnya semua kamu tulis dalam satu paragraf. Dan itu beda-beda topik, beda-beda ide. Ketika kamu menulis beda-beda ide dalam satu paragraf, it's confusing for the readers, ya. Buat yang baca itu bingung, yang ngerti itu cuma kamu karena itu ide kamu, gitu. Ya. Now, for you to be able to transfer your idea or to send your ideas, to convince others of your ideas, you need some technique. Jadi kamu nggak bisa menyampaikan seperti itu aja numpuk semuanya dalam satu paragraf. Orang nggak akan ngerti. Jadi kamu butuh teknik, butuh strategi. Nah, sebetulnya yang kamu tulis dalam satu paragraf itu most of the times are your big ideas, ide-ide besarnya. Nah, itu harusnya dipisahkan menjadi topik-topik dari setiap bagian. Misalnya setiap paragraf. Nah, dari situ kamu kemudian susun. Kamu udah punya nih paragraf pertama ngomongin apa. Terus cari subtopiknya apa ya. Kamu buat subtopiknya apa, kamu mau cerita apa. And then kamu akan lebih mudah menyusun kalimat-kalimatnya. Jadi satu paragraf utuh. Ide besar kemudian, ide besar berikutnya akan jadi paragraf selanjutnya dan seterusnya. Jadi seperti itu. Jadi lebih runtun. Terus flow-nya juga logical, ya. Alurnya logis, yang baca enak gitu. Nah, sebaiknya ketika kamu menulis juga kamu mesti mempertimbangkan itu, ya, alur yang logik. Jadi jangan muter-muter. Oke. Misalkan you want to talk about public transport in Jakarta. Satu paragraf kamu udah cerita tentang Transjakarta. Di bawahnya kamu cerita tentang KRL, kereta, ya, the train lines. And then di bawahnya lagi kamu cerita tentang MRT. Habis MRT terus kamu balik lagi ngomongin Transjakarta. Nah, it's not a good example. Ya. Jadi jangan muter-muter. Jadi kalau udah Transjakarta, ya tempatkan itu di satu bagian sendiri. Gitu. Jadi yang baca tuh enak gitu, ya. Jangan balik lagi ke Transjakarta. Jangan di bawahnya udah beda-beda bicaranya terus balik lagi ke Transjakarta, ya. Nanti yang baca bingung. Oke. Nah, itu helps with the logic of the writing gitu, ya. Alurnya yang jelas. Jadi mudah diikuti. Oke. Now, about outlining. Next week we're gonna do unit 9, and then after that we finish. Unit 9 is the last unit, ya. And then we finish all the units, and then berarti minggu ke-11, ya. Ini kan minggu ke-9, ya, right? And then minggu ke-11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you have 5 weeks to do individual assignment, yaitu individual presentation. where you're going to showcase your ability to speak and present in English. Yeah. We're going to divide you. So within the 5 weeks, everyone get a chance to present. Jadi nanti kita bagi setiap gilirannya ya dalam 1 minggu berapa orang yang presentasi. What you're going to present, you can choose any topics that you like. You can talk about anything that you like, as long as it's not hate speech, no racism, yeah, no violence, ya, nggak boleh racist, nggak boleh violence, nggak boleh hate speech, and then you can talk about anything that you like. For example, you like soccer, you want to talk about your favorite soccer team, go ahead. Okay. And then you want to talk about your favorite K drama, go ahead. Yeah. Or you want to talk about the book that you are reading at the moment, go ahead. Yeah. As long as it's positive, as long as it brings good vibes for the others and good message for the others, you can talk about it. Yeah. Now, for the presentation, to be able to deliver a good presentation, of course, you need to outline. Oke, jadi nanti kamu berlatih untuk membuat outline dari presentasi kamu. Ya. Okay. But now let's do this example first. Yeah. This is an article about American holiday, the Thanksgiving. Yeah. And then let's read this together and then we find the outline. Yeah. Okay. I need a volunteer who wants to help me read these articles. Silakan. Raise your hand, please. Siapa yang mau bantu saya membaca ini tentang Thanksgiving? Zalfa? Go ahead, Zalfa.
Dari Thanksgiving ya, Mbak?
Yes, from here.
Thanksgiving is the day on which Americans thank God for the many good things He has given them. It is a feast day observed on the fourth Tuesday in November, about the time most crops and are harvested. In North America, American families get together on this day to give thanks to God, to eat
God.
to God, to eat and to remember the first Thanksgiving, which took place long ago.
Okay, thank you, Zalfa. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you heard about Thanksgiving before?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yeah, maybe in the movie, yeah. In American movie, they celebrate Thanksgiving, yeah. So what is Thanksgiving? This article tells us about Thanksgiving. Okay, next paragraph. Anybody else, please help me read this part. Kansa, go ahead. Go ahead, Kansa. Hello, Kansa. Kansa. Yes, Kansa. Can you hear me? Kansa, you raise your hand, but we cannot hear you. Can you all hear Kansa? No, yeah. We can't hear you, Kansa. Maybe you have a problem with your microphone. Okay. Anybody else, please? While we're waiting for Kansa to fix her microphone. Okay, Aulia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wait. Aulia. Okay, please read the second paragraph.
All right. The Pilgrims were a religious group who moved from the England to America. In the early 17th century, their first year in America was very difficult. Many of the pilgrims died because they did not have enough food and the winter was very cold. Their next year was much easier. They built strong houses to keep out the cold, and they were able to grow more than enough food. To thank God for their good year, they organized a fast for all of the pilgrims. They also invite some of the Indians who had helped them learn to hunt and grow food. That was the first Thanksgiving.
Okay. Thank you, Aulia.
Yes,
Okay,
you're welcome.
the last paragraph, anyone? Nur Fitri Malinda.
Ma'am. Today, Thanksgiving is a family holiday. Family members sometimes travel thousands of miles to be together for Thanksgiving. Traditionally, the women of the family cook a huge dinner of turkey and dressing, sweet potatoes, and pumpkin pie. Everyone is expected to eat as much as possible, and after dinner, they sit in the living room holding their stomach and complaining that they ate too much.
Okay, thank you, Nur. Okay, so that was about Thanksgiving. Now, after reading this, we can look at the outline. Yeah. So actually, this tells us about Thanksgiving. Yeah. For a non-American who's not familiar with Thanksgiving, jadi India menceritakan tentang Thanksgiving. The first paragraph is about what Thanksgiving is, ya. Thanksgiving itu apa sih gitu ya? It's the day on which Americans thanks God for the many good things He has given them. Jadi perayaan dia perayaan an expression of gratitude ya. Syukuran ya mungkin ya kalau di tradisi Indonesia gitu ya, bersyukur gitu ya. It's a feast day, jadi perayaan yang dilakukan pada setiap hari Kamis minggu keempat di bulan November. About the time most crops are harvested in North America. Jadi November akhir ini ya, sudah menjelang Desember, cuacanya sudah mulai dingin. They're just entering the winter and they have finished harvested their crops. Jadi musim tanam itu kan di musim semi biasanya they start to plant. Musim semi dia mulai menanam and then summer udah mulai tumbuh ya. Tanamannya sudah mulai tumbuh and then beberapa jenis tanaman mungkin sudah bisa dipanen tuh. Yang panennya cepat ya, mungkin 3 bulan udah bisa panen ya. Ada tanaman yang takes longer time to be harvested gitu. Jadi sepanjang summer dan autumn gitu ya, mereka mulai panen. panen apa? Potatoes, pumpkins, apalagi ya, segala macam jenis tanamannya. Nah, autumn itu kan sekitar September, Oktober ya. November itu mulai autumn. November itu udah mulai dingin, udah mulai masuk musim winter. Jadi mereka udah selesai panen. Jadi udah nggak musim tanam lagi tuh. Biasa kalau udah winter udah nggak bisa bercocok tanam apa-apa gitu. Jadi udah selesai panen dan pada saat itu ya mereka sedang berlimpah makanan karena habis panen. Nah disitulah mereka membuat tradisi Thanksgiving. American families get together on this day to give thanks to God, to eat, and to remember the first Thanksgiving, which took place long ago. Oke, jadi we can see the outline Thanksgiving Day in which American thank God for giving good things. Ya, mereka bersyukur kepada Tuhan atas beragam berkah hidupnya ya. So, it's about feast day, ya, sebuah perayaan. Terus kapan dirayakannya? For Thursday in November. And then what do they do during Thanksgiving? It's a family get together. Okay. Keluarga berkumpul, ngapain aja mereka? Give thanks to God, to eat, and then to remember the first Thanksgiving. So outlining actually the same as finding the topic and the subtopic, yeah. But later on you should be able to practice with your own ideas gitu ya. And then the first Thanksgiving itu apa sih asal muasalnya gitu ya, the first Thanksgiving. In the second paragraph tells us about the first Thanksgiving. The Pilgrims, who were a religious group who moved from England to America in the early 17th century. Jadi ada kelompok orang-orang ya, the Pilgrims ya, mereka baru pindah dari England, dari Inggris ke Amerika di awal abad ke-17. Their first year in America was very difficult. Many of them died because they did not have enough food and the winter was very cold. Yeah, winter in North America is very very extreme ya. Di Amerika, di Kanada itu winternya parah banget ya. They can have blizzard, they can have very very cold temperature, bisa negative 10 degrees probably ya. Some places in Canada it's even get like to negative 15, negative 20 degrees. Jadi memang sangat dingin di sana winternya. Dan pada saat cuaca ekstrim seperti itu kan mereka nggak punya sumber makanan. Salah satu sumber makanan yang mungkin adalah berburu. Jadi mereka hunting ya, berburu karena tumbuhan itu nggak hidup karena begitu dingin gitu ya. Jadi mereka berburu hewan gitu. Nah, untuk sebagian orang yang baru pindah dari Inggris di Eropa, winter di Eropa itu tidak separah winter di Amerika ya. Paling dingin di Eropa tuh -5, -4 ya. Jarang sekali sampai -10 or -20 in Europe is not it's not that bad compared to North America. Gitu. Jadi mereka pun walaupun di Europe itu udah dingin gitu, tapi begitu pindah ke Amerika ternyata lebih dingin lagi dan cuaca lebih parah gitu ya, lebih ekstrim. Jadi kehidupan mereka susah gitu. And then many of them died, terus they did not have enough food gitu. Now, the next year, tahun kedua, it was much easier. Mereka udah bisa bangun rumah yang bagus, rumah yang kuat ya. strong house to keep them out of the cold. Jadi dia punya rumah untuk berlindung dan bisa cukup hangat bagi mereka gitu ya. And then they were able to grow more than enough food. Mereka sudah bisa bercocok tanam. And then nah disitulah kemudian the Thanksgiving, to thank God for the good year, they organized a feast for all of the pilgrims. Jadi mereka bikin perayaan, ya, merayakan tahun yang baik gitu. They also invited some of the Indians who had helped them learn to hunt and grow food. Mereka juga mengundang Indians, ya, the native people of America. Jadi suku asli di Amerika, ya, the Indians, mereka juga saling merayakan itu. Okay, that was the first Thanksgiving. So the outline is first, paragraph 2. Kita mau cerita tentang the first Thanksgiving. Jadi tentang apa dulu? Oh, tentang the pilgrims. Siapa sih the pilgrim itu? Oh, they are a religious group from England gitu. Ceritain dulu. And then what happened the first year? Waktu mereka baru pindah ke Amerika, apa yang terjadi? And then the next year, apa yang terjadi? And then organize the feast gitu ya. So this is the outline of the second paragraph. Okay, now the third paragraph is telling us about the Thanksgiving nowadays, ya. Nah, sekarang Thanksgiving itu dirayakan sebagai apa? It's a family holiday. It's a tradition in America, ya. Family members get together gitu. Jadi orang-orang pada mudik pulang kampung ketemu dengan keluarganya. And then what did they do? What do they do? Traditionally, awalnya gitu ya, the woman of the family cook a huge dinner of turkey and dressing. Jadi mereka makan malamnya pakai turkey, ya, pakai apa tuh? Turkey itu sejenis apa ya? Ayam atau burung yang besar gitu ya. And they cook the turkey and then they have sweet potatoes, pumpkin pie. Jadi ini adalah pumpkin gitu kan, biasanya mereka panen pada saat musim autumn ya, atau menjelang winter. Banyak pumpkin tuh di sana. Pumpkin berlimpah. Makanya pumpkin itu biasa dipakai untuk perayaan apa? Halloween ya. Halloween itu kan sekitar Oktober ya, akhir-akhir Oktober nih. They going to have Halloween soon, I think. And most of them use pumpkins they have pumpkin craft di apa? Menggambar monster pakai pumpkin gitu, karena di musim-musim itu pumpkin berlimpah, baru pada panen pumpkin gitu. And then everyone eat as much as possible, and then ya gitulah tradisinya ya. So the outline today, Thanksgiving is a family holiday. Apa yang terjadi di situ? Family members travel, and then the woman cook, and then they eat, yeah, and sit in the living room. Okay, so now you can get an idea of what an outline is. Is there any questions? Ada yang mau ditanya? No? Okay, let's continue. The next exercise is about fast food. Okay, and then you make the outline. Yeah, after reading this, try to make the outline of the article about fast food. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes, yeah, to read and do the outline. And then after that, we're going to discuss this together. So 10 minutes, yeah, up till 8:50. Please read this and do the outline. Okay, do this individually on your own ya. Kerjakan masing-masing. Silakan dibaca dulu, nanti jam 8.50 kita diskusikan. Okay, time is up. So have you finished making the outline? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. First, let's read the article about fast food, and then we discuss the outline of each of the paragraph. Okay. Paragraph 1. Anyone wants to read paragraph 1? Raise your hand, please. Yufandu.
Yes, ma'am. The first paragraph. Today, you can find a fast food restaurant in almost every big city. In some place, you stand in a line at get a hamburger or hot dog in a paper bag. In others, you can pick up a tray of fish, chicken, pizza, or even Mexican and Chinese food. And in some fast food place, you can even drive your car up to a window and place your order. Within minutes, a worker gives you your food through the window and you can drive away and eat in your car.
Okay. Thank you, Yufandu. And then let's do the outline. So the first paragraph, how would you outline this? Today, apa di sini outline-nya? The first
Today,
paragraph.
Fast food restaurant in almost every big city.
Yeah. And then the subtopics.
we can find fast food restaurant
Okay. And then what other
in almost
Serve many food
in
various.
almost every big city.
Okay, that is the first ya. What follow after that? Seterusnya apa lagi informasi yang ada di situ?
Various food.
Ya, different places offer different kind of foods ya. Jadi makanan yang ditawarkannya beragam, berbeda-beda, like hamburger, hot dog, and then ada juga yang you can pick up a tray of fish, chicken, etc. And then ada juga yang pesan dari mobil ya, drive-thru gitu ya. And then within minutes, the worker gives you your food and then you can eat it in the car. Okay. So the first paragraph is about you can find fast food restaurant almost in
In big city, everywhere in big city.
almost everywhere gitu ya. And then apalagi dia itunya informasinya different kinds of fast food restaurant ya. Ada yang memberi macam-macam di sini kan. Some places give hamburger and hot dog di paper bag, cuma dibungkus apa namanya kantong kertas dan udah dikasih gitu ya. And then you can pick up tray and then you can get chicken, fish, bla bla bla, and then you can also have a drive-thru. Jadi ada beragam jenis restoran fast food. Now, paragraph 2. Anyone? Please raise your hand. Read paragraph 2. Fatma.
Yes, ma'am. In New York, Paris, Tokyo, Singapore, and thousands of other cities around the world, new fast food restaurants open every day. However, why do people prefer fast food restaurants to more comfortable restaurants where they can sit quietly at a table and be served by a waiter or waitress?
Yeah, thank you. So the outline for the second paragraph in other city around the world, apa? New fast food restaurant open every day, ya. Jadi di sini disampaikan bahwa banyak fast food restaurant ya yang baru buka gitu di seluruh dunia. And then but why gitu. Kalau banyak yang dibuka kan berarti peminatnya banyak ya. Nah, terus kenapa orang lebih berminat makan di fast food restaurant gitu ya daripada makan di dine in gitu yang dia bisa duduk terus dilayani gitu kan. Okay. And then the third paragraph should give the answer of this question. Kan di paragraf kedua dia mempertanyakan. Ada pertanyaan di sini. Why do people prefer fast food restaurant to more comfortable restaurant where they can sit quietly at a table and be served by a waiter or waitresses? Dia mengajukan pertanyaan. Jadi harusnya di paragraf berikutnya ada jawabannya, ya. So let's read paragraph 3. Can we find the answer in paragraph 3? Anyone raise your hand, please? Nadia.
The things make fast food restaurant popular are speed and price. People's time is valuable. They may have only 30 minutes for lunch. They do not want to waste a lot of time eating or preparing food. The service is fast, so they can order what they want, eat it, and be finished in less than 15 minutes. In addition, prices are inexpensive because of the large number of meals sold every day in fast food restaurants. Costs are kept low. There are over 35 billion hamburgers sold every year in the United States alone. Another things people like is that they can be sure what the food will taste like in a fast food restaurant. The major international fast food companies like McDonald's and AWE and make sure that a hamburger sold at the store in Boston will taste exactly the time as one sold in New York and not very different from one box in Bangkok or Taipei.
Yeah, thank you, Nadia. So, can we find the answer of the question in paragraph 3? Kenapa dia digemari? Because
speed and low price.
Speed and price.
Speed and price, yeah. It's fast and it's cheap, yeah, according to these articles. Okay, because of the speed and the price. And then the sentences here talk about the speed, ya. People's time is valuable. Ya, diceritakan nih cepat ya. 30 menit bisa selesai makannya. Jadi 30 menit itu bukan cuma menunggu makanannya jadi baru diantar gitu, tapi dalam 30 menit dia sudah selesai makan gitu ya. So people do not want to waste a lot of time eating. The service is fast. They can order what they want, eat it, and be finished in less than 15 minutes. So this part talks about the time, the speed. Ya. Jadi kita bisa outline di sini bahwa popular because of the speed and the price. And then the subtopic is the speed, ya. More detailed information about the speed. Jadi bisa selesai di less than 15 minutes gitu. And then after the speed, the price. Okay, in addition, prices are inexpensive. This part talks about harganya murah. Kok bisa murah? Ya. Because they serve large numbers of meal. Jadi karena yang dijual banyak ya, Jadi harganya bisa murah. Jadi they can keep the price low because it's a mass produce. Jadi like McDonald's gitu ya, dia kan punya pabrik sendiri where they made their own buns, they made their own patties gitu. Jadi rotinya dia bikin sendiri, burgernya juga dia bikin sendiri di pabriknya gitu. Dan karena produksinya besar ya, dalam jumlah yang besar, jadi bisa jadi lebih murah gitu ya. But I don't think it applies in Indonesia ya. Fast food restaurant di Indonesia like McDonald's, KFC. Do you agree that they are cheap?
No,
No.
no, ma'am.
Which one is better, McDonald's or Warteg? Which one do you prefer? Which one?
Warteg, ma'am.
Warteg. Why?
Yeah,
Why?
because the price is cheap
Because the
and
price.
yeah,
And what else?
And the taste is good, ma'am.
The
yeah,
taste
the
is
taste is
good.
good.
Taste is good. Yes. And is it fast?
Yes.
Yes, faster than
Yes.
McDonald's. Faster
Yeah.
than McDonald's.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Of
Yes.
course, yeah. Yes, and with simple, yeah, all you have to do is just point your fingers to to the food that you like, and then the owner of the owner of the warung will have it what is it? Have it dibungkus gitu ya buat kamu. Oke ya, warteg is the best. I agree, ya. Gitu. So actually Indonesia has our own fast food, yeah, but unfortunately it's not going global yet gitu. Jadi tradisi warteg kita tuh belum mendunia gitu. Jadi kalah nih sama McDonald's, kalah nih sama KFC gitu ya. Nah, mungkin suatu hari nanti makin banyak orang asing yang kenal dengan warung-warung nasi Indonesia ya, warteg style gitu. Mungkin nanti warteg makin banyak di luar negeri mendunia gitu ya. Oke. Okay, we have speed and price. And then is there any other information we can find in this paragraph? Here, yeah. Another thing people like is that they can be sure what the food will taste like in a fast food restaurant. Ada lagi tentang the taste. So, first is about the speed, second is about the price, and third is about the taste. Ya, karena namanya brandnya sudah very popular around the world, so they know McDonald's everywhere taste the same. Ya, kamu makan burger McDonald's di Jakarta, di Tokyo, di di mana lagi di Los Angeles ya, di São Paulo, dimanapun rasanya akan sama gitu. Karena dia dari brand McDonald's. That's what the article saying gitu. But nowadays McDonald's have their own unique special menus gitu. Sekarang McDonald's tuh punya menu-menu yang di customize ya, yang menu-menu cater to their location. For example di Indonesia itu setiap tahun baru, every Chinese New Year McDonald's has prosperity burger misalkan gitu ya. And only in Indonesia McDonald's has nasi uduk, you know. Nah, you won't find nasi uduk everywhere in McDonald's outside Indonesia. It's only in Indonesia. Tapi di Cina itu McDonald's punya bubur bubur ya bubur kayak bubur ayam lah ya di sini. I think McDonald's Jakarta juga ada ya. McDonald's Indo juga kayaknya punya ya menu bubur. Jadi ada menu-menu yang dibuat sesuai dengan negara lokasi McDonald's-nya itu. Jadi mereka menyesuaikan dengan kegemaran rakyat di negara-negara tersebut gitu. Okay. So that's paragraph 3. Now, paragraph 4. Anybody wants to read paragraph 4? Raise your hand, please. Nadia. Okay. Kritik for fast food. Apa katanya fast food itu junk food ya. So what is the critic about? It has no nutritional value. Dia nggak ada gizinya gitu. Ya. Kenapa gitu? You know what's inside the hamburger? Ya, untuk membuat hamburger itu dia pakai olahan daging ya. Tapi it's not from the best cut. So for example in sapi gitu ya, kamu baru di butcher gitu di penyembelihan sapi, the best cut daging-daging bagian daging yang premium itu biasanya goes to steakhouse. Ya, jadi daging-daging yang bagus-bagusnya nanti untuk membuat steak atau dijual ke hotel gitu ya. And then biasanya nanti ada daging-daging lebihan-lebihan gitu ya. Sisaan-sisaan tuh yang nempel-nempel di tulang-tulang. Nah, itu biasanya yang dipakai buat digiling. Digiling terus jadi berbagai produk. Ada yang jadi hamburger, ada yang jadi bakso, ada yang jadi macam-macam gitu ya. So they try to make use of the small bits gitu. And then probably it contains more fat than the meat gitu. Jadi mungkin banyak fatnya di situ, banyak lemak-lemaknya ketimbang daging-dagingnya gitu ya. And also they put lots of salt di situ. Jadi ada zat-zat tambahannya kan. Untuk perasanya dia pakai garam, dia pakai chemical whatever gitu ya, dia pakai zat-zat kimia di situ untuk supaya lebih awet kan gitu ya. So that's why it's not healthy. It has no nutritional value. Jadi kenapa itu tidak sehat gitu. Okay. Critics about Indonesian fast food like warteg juga punya kritik gitu ya. Ada yang bilang it's not hygienic gitu ya, nggak higienis karena makanannya itu sebetulnya sudah dimasak lama gitu. Dia masaknya malam, kemudian disajikan di rak itu gitu kan. Jadi makanannya itu nggak baru matang gitu karena sudah didiamkan lama di rak. Jadi ada kemungkinan terkontaminasi bakteri atau lalat yang hinggap di situ gitu. Jadi itu ya yang membuat concern kalau makan di warteg gitu. Terus kenapa juga turis-turis asing kalau makan di warteg suka they call it Bali belly gitu ya. Kalau mereka ke Bali terus makan di warteg habis itu mereka pada sakit perut. Karena makanannya tidak bukan immediately from the kitchen gitu, bukan makanan yang baru matang langsung disajikan gitu, tapi karena sudah lama di rak jadi sudah terkontaminasi. Jadi bisa membuat orang sakit. Kenapa banyak turis nggak suka makan di warteg ya kayak itu. Karena mereka sakit kalau habis makan itu gitu. Dan mungkin cara masaknya, terus kualitas bahannya juga kan tidak terstandar ya. Jadi Ada kritik juga mengatakan bahwa itu tidak higienis, dapurnya nggak higienis lah. Terus makanannya juga banyak anget-angetan misalkan gitu ya. Itu juga kritiknya untuk warteg-warteg Indonesia. Jadi kayak gitu. Oke. So that's outlining. Okay, unit 9 is for next week. So do you have any question of outlining? Okay, now what I want you to do now is make your outline for your presentation. Yeah, I told you earlier that after unit 9, you're going to have your individual presentation and you can start making the concept of your presentation right now. Jadi mulai di konsep sekarang, kamu mau presentasi kamu tentang apa nanti ya. And then how many students are in this group, in this class? Nadia, ada berapa orang? Okay, 41 and we have 5 weeks ya. Minggu ke-11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we have 5 weeks. So every week there be 8 to 9 of you presenting. Jadi kalau kita punya 1,5 jam, 90 menit dibagi ya sekira 10 menit ya. You only have about 10 minutes to do your presentation. So think about what you're going to present. Kamu mau menceritakan apa saja di presentasi kamu di konsep sekarang. Ya dibuat outline-nya. A good presentation usually divided into 3 sections. The first one is the opening. Okay. And then the second one is the main topic. And then the third one is the closing. Think about what you're going to say in each of the section. How are you going to open your presentation? A good presentation usually has hook. Ada hooknya di awal biasanya untuk to grab attention of the audience gitu. Jadi ada hooknya. You can ask them questions. You can you can show them something controversial that making people wow gitu ya. And then after that you can start introducing yourself, introducing the topic you're going to present, and then how you're going to present it gitu ya. Nah, think about it right now. Sekarang tugasmu adalah mulai menyusun outlining-nya, and I'm going to make an assignment on Microsoft Teams, and I want you to submit ya your concept in the assignment today ya. So do it right now, dikerjakan sendiri-sendiri. Do you need a group discussion? I think it's better if you can work in group ya, so you can have a discussion even though you have your own topic, even though the topic is different, but you can ask others ya about the outline. Jadi supaya kamu bisa saling diskusi, I'm going to open a breakout rooms randomly. Breakout roomsnya randomly. Silakan diskusi dalam kelompok-kelompok kecil. Bikin outline gimana sih guys gitu ya. Tapi nanti topiknya kan terpisah sendiri-sendiri. Kamu bebas memilih topik kamu sendiri-sendiri. Now, before I send you to the breakout room, any questions? Nadia? No, there's no minimum. But it's not a writing, yeah, it's a presentation. You're going to do a presentation. Okay, you might need to have slides. Kamu bisa pakai slides and making the slides or the PowerPoint, or you can use Canva, whatever. How many slides? There's no minimum numbers, but you only have 10 minutes. So think about it. Kamu cuma punya 10 menit, di 10 menit itu kamu mau kasih berapa slide? Itu, dan apa saja yang mau kamu tampilkan di slide itu. Okay. And to make a presentation good, you don't have to write everything in your slide. Jangan ditulis di slide-nya dan do not read from the slide. Jangan baca yang ada di slide kamu. You just put di slide itu kan hanya in a key information or a photo or a chart or a diagram gitu ya, gambar atau foto, hanya informasi-informasi kunci aja. But you speak, you tell your audience about the detailed information. Tapi kamu sebagai presenter harus bisa menjelaskan yang ada di slide kamu. Gitu loh, ya. Jangan baca. Kalau baca nanti nilaimu jadi rendah, ya kan? Oke, yang akan dinilai adalah your ability to present in English. So try not to read from the slide. Okay? But still you have to write something to be able to present. Tetap kan kamu harus merancang naskahnya, nanti kamu mau ngomong apa gitu kan. Nah, itu naskahnya kamu tulis ya di apa namanya, di dokumen terpisah, jangan ditulis di dalam slide-mu. Gitu, ya. Nah, kalau saya bilang nggak boleh baca, ya sebaiknya jangan baca, tapi jangan dihafalin juga. Kalau kamu ngapalin naskahnya terus kamu sampaikan kayak robot kamu nanti presentasinya. Jadi nggak interaktif, ya. Yang kamu hafal adalah key points-nya aja. Poin-poin utama yang harus disampaikan apa, and then you can do your improvisation, deliver it in your own way. Itu yang harus dilatih. Oke? Gitu. Any other questions?
Ma'am mau tanya kalau bisa bentuknya selain presentasi PPT boleh kayak poster atau infografis?
Boleh. Yes, you can do it also. Yeah. The goal is for you to be able to send message verbally, yeah, to present your ideas. So if you think infographic helps you better than a slide, that's fine. Nggak apa-apa, boleh pakai infografis. Kalau nggak mau pakai PPT, silakan. Yeah. But don't let those media take over your stage. Gitu. Misalkan, okay, you want to show or you want to present about your favorite soccer player. Okay. For example, Ronaldo is my favorite soccer player. And then I show you, okay, you don't believe me, I can show you why Ronaldo is the best soccer player. I give you a video, a 5 minutes video of Ronaldo playing soccer. Okay. Well, you only have 10 minutes. You use 5 minutes showing video. So Ronaldo is taking over your stage. Yang dapat nilai kamu per Ronaldo. Gitu, ya. Jadi kamu harus pandai-pandai memanfaatkan waktumu cuma 10 menit dan kamu harus gunakan 10 menit itu untuk nunjukin kemampuan kamu semaksimal mungkin. Jadi jangan isinya video 5 menit, kamu ngomongnya cuma 5 menit udah gitu banyakkan jedanya. Gitu. Ya udah drop aja nilaimu. Paham ya? Gitu. Jadi 10 menit itu adalah panggung kamu. Manfaatkan 10 menit itu, tunjukkan kamu bisa. Gitu. Oke? Jadi kalau saya bebaskan medianya boleh apa saja, mau video, mau infografis, PowerPoint, whatever you may choose. But use them to support you. Don't use them to kill you. Ya. Media alat bantu yang kamu pakai itu untuk bantu kamu, bukan untuk menggantikan kamu. Kalau dia menggantikan kamu, kamu bunuh diri, kamu nggak dapat nilai. Okay. You understand? Any other question? Okay. Now I'm going to send you into your breakout rooms. Yeah, go ahead. Start thinking of your ideas and then start outlining. Outliningnya tolong ditulis ya. Ditulis, you can write it in a piece of paper or you can type it and then send the file in the assignment I'm going to make shortly. Jadi buat outline-nya sekarang. Misalkan nanti kamu buat dalam 3 section, opening, main topic, and closing. Nanti di openingnya kamu mau ngapain? Di main topiknya kamu mau cerita apa? Dibuat dulu tuh big ideas-nya apa gitu. Ya, nanti itu jadi membantu kamu membuat naskah dan membuat PowerPoint-nya misalkan. Ya, is that clear? Okay. Now I'm going to send you in breakout room for 15 minutes, yeah. For 15 minutes, think about your ideas, think about your outline. Okay, now it's 9:21, so you'll be back here at 9:36. Okay. Okay, everyone, I'm making the breakout room. See you back here in 15 minutes. Yuvando, do you have a question?
Sorry, ma'am. Sebelumnya di sini ada satu orang
Posting to. Okay, this is the whole presentation. So you can also outline the opening and the closing. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I understand it now.
Okay. You're welcome, Fauzan. Is there any other questions? Aulia?
Ma'am, untuk deadline kan jam 11 siang ini ya. Kalau untuk saya jadinya pengumpulannya gimana ya, Ma'am ya?
You can send it to my email, ya, mailyasari@unj.ac.id.
Alright. Thank you ya, Ma'am.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions? Okay, so is everything clear? Right. Okay, then I think that's enough for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget to finish your outline and submit it before 11 today. Okay, and I'll see you again next week. We're going to do Unit 9 next week. Right? Okay, bye, everyone. Have a good day. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
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 Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.